E.N.D here. Officially day 1 of the spoilers of Throne of Eldraine, and how many cards have been spoiled today. We have nearly 40 cards all spoiled. There are a couple of WoW cards, there are a couple of strong cards, and there is a very big surprise at the end of this video. Let's begin immediately the spoilers. As I said, there are 40 cards to cover. Corridor Monitor for 1 and 1 blue. It's an artifact creature, 1/4. When it enters the battlefield, untap target artifact or creature you control. Shining Armor for 1 and 1 white. It's an equipment. It has flash, equip 3. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to a target knight you control, at which creature gets +0/+2 and has vigilance. Rosethorn Acolyte for 2 and 1 green. This is a 2/3 elf druid. This has the adventure mechanic, the new mechanic for Throne of Eldraine. It's a sorcery for 1 green, add 1 mana of any color, and has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Animating Fairy, 2 and 1 blue. It's a 2/2 fairy creature. This also has the adventure mechanic, bring to life, 2 and 1 blue. Target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature, put 4+1/+1 counters on it. It has flying. Bell of the Brawl, 2 and 1 black. It's a 3/2 human knight. It has menace. Whenever it attacks, other knights you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Frogify for 1 and 1 blue. It's an enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a blue frog creature with base, power and toughness 1/1. Vulnerable Knight for 1 white. It's a 2/1 human knight. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target knight you control. All That Glitters, 1 and 1 white. It's an enchantment, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. Shambling Suite for 3. It's a 0/3 artifact construct. Shambling Suite's power is equal to the number of artifacts or enchantments you control. Witch's Oven for 1 colorless. It's an artifact. Tap, sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If that sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens. Food is the new token that you can tap to sacrifice the food and you gain 3 life. Inspiring Veteran, 1 red and 1 white. It's a 2/2 other knights you control get +1/+1. This is a knight lord. Savvy Hunter for 1 black and 1 green. It's a 3/3. When it attacks or blocks, you create a food token. Sacrifice 2 food, draw a card. Steel Claw Lance for 1 black and 1 red. At which creature get +2/+2. It's an equipment. Equip knight 1. Other equipment is 3. Shine Chaser for 1 white and 1 blue. It's a 1/1 fairy creature. It has flying. It has vigilance. It gets +1/+1 as long you control an artifact. It gets another +1/+1 as long as you control an enchantment. Arcanist Owl. This has hybrid mana, white or blue. It's a bird. It's a 3/3. It has flying. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or enchantment card among them, put it into your hand, and the rest at the bottom in any order. Keeper of Fables, 3 and 2 green. It's a 4/5 cat creature. Whenever 1 or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Taste of Death, 4 and 2 black. This is a rare card. It's a sorcery. Each player sacrifices 3 creatures. You create 3 food tokens. Fairy Formation, 4 and 1 blue. It's a 5/4 fairy creature. Flying, 3 and 1 blue. You create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying, and you also draw a card. Workshop Elders, 6 and 1 blue. It's a 4/4 human artificer. Artifact creatures you control have flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target non-creature artifact you control become a 0/0 artifact creature. If you do, put 4+1/+1 counters on it. Tome of Legend for 2, it's an artifact, enters the battlefield with a page counter on it. Whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on Tome of Legends. For 1 and tap, remove a page counter from Tome of Legends and you draw a card. Obviously, Throne of Eldraine is focusing on Brawl and therefore is focusing also on the commander formats. Torn Mammoth, 5 and 2 green, it's a 6/6 elephant. It has trample. Whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Steelbane Hydra, X, 2 green. This is a turtle Hydra. It enters the battlefield with X+1 counters on it. For 2 and 1 green, remove a +1/+1 counter from Steelbane Hydra. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Shimmer Dragon, 4 and 2 green and 2 blue. It's a 5/6 dragon. This is a blue dragon. Very rarely you find blue dragons. It has flying. As long as you control 4 or more artifacts, it has hexproof. Tap 2 and tap artifacts you control, draw a card. Mace of the Valiant, 2 and 1 white. It's an equipment. This is also a rare card. A creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on Mace of Valiant and has vigilance. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on Mace of Valiant. Equip 3. Night Charge, 1 white and 1 black. This is enchantment, also a rare enchantment. Whenever a knight you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. 6 1 white and 1 black. Sacrifice Knight's Charge, return or Knight's card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Banish into Fable, 4 1 white and 1 blue. It's an instant. When you cast this spell from your hand, copy it if you control an artifact, then copy if you control an enchantment. You may choose new targets for the copies. Return target non-land permanent to its owner hand. You create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Silverwing Squadron, 5 and 1 white. It has flying, it has vigilance. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever it attacks, create a number of 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance equal to the number of opponents you have. Gluttonous Troll, 2 1 black and 1 green. It's a 3/3 troll creature. It has trample and there's the battlefield with a number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. Sacrifice another non-land permanent. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Embered Skyblazer, 3 and 1 red. It's a 4/3 human knight. As long as it's your turn, it has flying. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 and 1 red. If you do, create creatures you control get +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of opponents you have. Chittering Witch, 3 and 1 black. It enters the battlefield. Create a number of +1/1 black red creature tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. 1 and 1 black. Sacrifice a creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Beanstalk Giant, for 6 and 1 green. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of lands you control, and it also has an adventure, Fertile Footsteps, for 2 and 1 green. It's a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Bake into Pie, 2 and 2 black. It's an instant. Destroy target creature. Create a food token. Slaying Fire, 2 and 1 red. It deals 3 damage to any target. It has Adamant. Adamant is another new mechanic for Throne of Eldraine. If at least 3 red mana were spent to cast the spell, it deals 4 damage instead. It's a very, very unique ability that you need to use at least 3 of the same color mana to cast a particular spell, and if you do so, you will get a netted advantage for the card. Silver Flame Ritual, 3 and 1 white. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. It also has the adamant. If at least 3 white mana was spent to cast the spell, creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn. Embered Paladin, 3 and 1 red. It's a human knight. It has haste. It also has the adamant. If you use 3 red mana, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. And it's a 4/1 creature. Piper of the Sworn, 1 and 1 black. It's a 1/3 human warlock. Reds you control have menace. Very, very good card. Synergy with reds. 1 and 1 black. Tap, create a 1/1 black red creature token. 2 and 2 black. Tap, sacrifice 3 reds, gain control of target creature. Embered Shieldbreaker, 1 and 1 red. It's a human knight. It's a 2/1 and it has also an adventure. Battle display, for 1 red, destroy target artifact. Tournament Grounds, this is a land. Tap for 1 colorless. Tap for 1 red, 1 white, 1 black. Spend this mana only to cast a knight or an equipment spell. Very, very interesting and very nice land cycle. Fulmer Knight, we have 2 versions of the card, one with the showcase and one with the normal. For 1 black, it's a 1/1 with Death Touch, and it has an adventure, Profane Insight, draw a card and lose a life. Smitten Swordmasters, also for 1 and 1 black, it's a 2/1 creature, we have the showcase. It has an adventure, Carry Favor. For 1 black, you gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. Order of Midnight, for 1 and 1 black, it's a 2/2 creature. It has flying, it cannot block. It has an adventure, Alter Fate. For 1 and 1 black, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Sire Conrad the Grim, for 3 and 2 black, it's a 5/4 human knight. Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put into your graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. For 1 and 1 black, each player put the top card of their library in their graveyard. Fairy Vandal, for 1 and 1 blue, it's a 1/2 Fairy Rogue. It has flash, it has flying. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Fairy Vandal. Maraleaf Pixie, for 1 green and 1 blue, it's a 2/2 with flying and has tap, add 1 green or 1 blue. Eye Collector, for 1 black, it's a 1/1, also a fairy. Flying, whenever Eye Collector deals combat damage to a player, each player put the top card of their library into their graveyard. Fireborn Knight, this also has the hybrid, 1 white or 1 red. It's a 2/3 knight, human knight, with double strike, and for 4 red or white, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Wintermoor Commander, for 1 white and 1 black, it's a 2 asterisk power and toughness. It has Death Touch. Its toughness is equal to the number of knights you control. Whenever it attacks another target knight you control, gains indestructible until end of turn. Heraldic Banner, for 3, it's an artifact. Enters the battlefield, you choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0. Tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color. Midnight Clock, this is with the extended art card. Very beautiful art card. For 2 and 1 blue, tap to add 1 blue. 2 and 1 blue, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. At the beginning of each upkeep, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. When the 12th hour counter is put on Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library. Then draw 7 cards. Exile Midnight Clock. Sire Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale. This is the Brawl Commander for the pre-constructed Commander decks. These mythics will not find them in Throne of Eldraine set, but as I said, part of Brawl pre-constructed decks. This is the first commander, legendary creature human knight, for 3, 1 red, 1 white and 1 black. It's a 5/5, it has vigilance, it has menace. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Equipment you control have equip knight 0. The second one, Corvold Faker's King for 2. 1 black, 1 red, 1 green. It's a 4/4, it has flying. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Corvold and draw a card. This is the second Brawl commander for the Brawl pre-constructed decks. The third commander for the pre-constructed decks. The fourth one is Kirill, Anela, Artful, Propagator for 1 white, 1 blue, 1 red. It's a 2/3 legendary creature. It has flying, it has death touch, it has lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. Whenever you cast an artifact or equipment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. The first mythic of Throne of Eldraine, the Circle of Loyalty for 4 and 2 white. It's a legendary artifact. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each knight you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. For 3 and 1 white, tap, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. The second Planeswalkers of Throne of Eldraine, we already saw Oko, Royal Scions for 1 blue and 1 red. This is a legendary Planeswalker, Will and Rowan. And this, and I'm really proud of myself, was one of my predictions. I predicted that Will and Rowan will be one Planeswalker. I thought it will be with the partner ability. I didn't think that they will combine literally Will and Rowan in one Planeswalker card, but this is what they did. For 1 blue and 1 red, it's a 5 loyalty, draw a card, then discard a card. Target creature get +2/+0, gains first strike, and trample until end of turn. These are the +1. For -8, draw 4 cards. When you do, the Royal Scions deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards in your hand. Last one, and this is the surprise and what we were waiting for, GARRUK Cursed Huntsman. 4 and 1 black and 1 green. It's a GARRUK Planeswalker. Finally, GARRUK is back with 5 loyalty counters. For 0, you create a 2/2 black and green wolf creature token with, when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each GARRUK you control. The -3, destroy target creature, draw a card. The -6, you get an emblem. With creatures you control, get +3/+3 and have trample. These are all the spoilers of today, day 1 of Throne of Eldraine. As you can see, as you have saw, so we had a lot of spoilers. I think the big one was GARRUK. Finally, GARRUK is back. You can leave me a comment below. What do you think about Throne of Eldraine? I'm hypered about this set. This set has a lot of lore, has a lot of interesting mechanics and a lot of interesting cards. Here there's a subscription button, subscribe for my channel because I'm going to cover all spoilers of Throne of Eldraine.